It's Scissors and Scrubs time. Welcome back. I'm Nicole.
I'm Laura.
And we're both a little tired today, maybe. A little. It's been a long weekend. It's getting to that time of year where things are going to be ramping up again for us again, reminiscent of a few years ago where it's going to be graduation soon. So we're busy. So we're recording a few episodes tonight. I personally, last night, graduated from competition, meaning I never, unless I have a granddaughter, have to sit through a competition weekend for dancing ever again.
Congratulations.
Like, ever again. I'm not going to lie. It was a little more emotional than I thought it would be. And, you know, sometimes, like, I look at my daughter and I think, there's nothing of me in there. Like, she doesn't look like me. She doesn't act like me. If I didn't see her leave my body, I would be like, this is not my child. So her dance number won first place.
Wow.
Yeah. And she went up there. She's got this little shoulder thing she's doing. But I was like, oh, there I am. That's something I would do.
I can't even believe she did that.
Oh, yeah. And then at the end, you know, before they do the award ceremony that lasts 5 hours, I swear, for 15th place, 14th place, 15th place? Really? Can we just
first, second, third?
Can we just do first? Yeah. 15th place.
Wow.
15th place. So, before we do the award ceremony, they're playing music. And so all the dance studios are up on the stage and they're singing and dancing. And she's up there with one of her closest friends who is a good 3 feet taller than Vienna. And she's singing her heart out and like acting it out. And I'm like, oh, this is what they're going to look like in 3 years in nightclubs. Yeah. Like I can totally see her being like, dancing queen. And I said to the girl's mother, I'm like, yeah, you know, that's them at like, I would say polyesters, but that doesn't exist anymore. It was just funny to see. And I was like, wow, this is it. We're done. Yeah. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Next
Slowly coming
March,
to an end.
I will not be in a cold auditorium for 8 hours.
God, that's
looking at 15th place. I will be on a beach somewhere.
Nice.
That is my goal next March.
Nice.
And she'll be, God knows what, doing something, God knows what, in March.
Dancing somewhere.
If she's dancing, I think it'll be March Madness at the school and she'll be drinking somewhere. That's what I think is going to be happening. So I'm a little upset about that. Okay, so it is Lenten season. I have had 3 people in the last week ask me why a church cannot have flowers during Lent. I don't know what people actually think Lent is, but it is a time of sacrifice, penance, and reflection.
Yeah. It's a sad time.
It's a sad time, and the church does not celebrate. We do not do christenings. They do not do weddings. There are no flowers in the church. You barely get a funeral out of them.
Yeah.
So, Catholics have taken it to the extreme over the years. So Laura's going to take it to the most extreme.
Yes.
And then I'm going to discuss how some of those extremes have then become penance.
Okay.
And there we go. All yours, Sparkles.
All right. So Ferdinand and Isabel, the Spanish Catholic monarchs, established the Tribunal of the Holy Office of the Inquisition in 1478.
Oh.
It's commonly referred to as the Spanish Inquisition. Everybody's heard of the Spanish Inquisition.
Why did we develop it? Does it say?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to sit back and drink my tea.
Okay, good. Okay. And all of Spain and its colonies in Europe and Americas fell under this authority. It was created to ensure, or I'm not going to say this right, orthodoxy. That's not right, is it?
It could be, yeah.
Maybe. It was created to ensure orthodoxy from those Christians that had converted from Judaism and Islam. So they wanted to make sure that these people...
They were pure.
Yeah, that they were being very orthodox with their religion. The royal decrees issued in 1492 and 1502 demanded that all Jews and Muslims convert to Christianity or leave Spain.
Oh.
Yep.
And there was a lot. I mean, Spain's right on the African.
Yes.
There's a lot of Muslims down there.
At the same time of these decrees, Spain had claimed much of the New World for itself, as we know.
Yeah.
That's who, came over
Mexico.
here. The United States.
Yeah, we did, but like the upper part of it, I mean, they had California and like Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
But the upper half, the English took.
Well,
we were divided.
They were here. Well,
they were. I mean, Cortez made his way through Mexico pretty.
And began a process of spreading Christianity over thousands and thousands of miles. So they were hard pressed that everyone's going to be Catholic. Charges of heresy were serious offenses. When a person violated the important teachings of Christianity, the Inquisition tribunal would charge them as a heretic If they confessed, their punishment wasn't too bad. If they refused to confess, they were tortured until officials heard a confession.
Oh, that's a way to do it.
So they were going to make you confess.
That's helpful.
Yeah. So these are several torture methods that were used during the Spanish Inquisition in the New World. I like the name of this. The Strappado.
Oh, it sounds pretty.
That's what I mean. I like the name.
Sounds like an opera.
Or corda had 3 different variations they could use if they used it.
It was multifaceted?
Yeah, there's 3 ways they could do it. So the basis of it is the accused person who was being accused of being a heretic would have their hands tied behind their back, kind of like you're being handcuffed. And then a rope would be tied to the wrists and passed over a pulley beam or a hook.
It's already uncomfortable.
And as the accused was pulled off the ground, they were being hung from their arms.
But
behind
backwards.
their back.
Yeah, like backwards.
Yeah.
So imagine what that's doing to your shoulders.
So I'm going to tell you what it's doing to your shoulders. So variations
let's get into it.
on the Strappado included using weights to cause more resistance and pain. So they would
lovely.
put weights on the other end. The inverted and extended shoulders would separate from their sockets.
Fuck.
At times, jerking the hanging victim would cause the shoulders to break.
Oh.
A really bad torturous variation was tying the wrists of the accused in front along with the ankles, then adding weights before pulling the victim off the ground to hang. Like with your ankles
Like
attached
hogtied.
to you.
You were like hogtied.
Yes.
I'm actually, my mind was going to, if they survived it, they can never use their arms again because nobody will know how to fix those.
No, you couldn't fix that.
And they're going to fix deformed.
Yeah. In a less torturous state, the Strappado would separate the shoulders and cause excruciating pain, obviously. The physical damage would be obvious to the people watching because, of course, this is in front of everybody.
And they're deformed now.
As, you could see people's shoulders come out of their sockets. And if the ankles were also up in this binding, then the hips and knees would also be popped out of their sockets.
Oh, could you imagine the pain?
No. The length of time that they had you in the Strappado was relatively short. A
month.
The entire process was completed in 60 minutes or less. Because, once they get you up there, you're popping and that's it. So
you're out.
By the time they tie you and get you up,
and it's a wrap.
Over. Of course, there might be someone who's a real hot ass and, it's going to take them long and I scream and
you
give
would
in.
be trying, Laura. You would try hard.
I would try.
Fuck you. I'm going to dislocate
How
them myself.
long did they last?
Yeah,
fine.
I get
I'm gonna
62 minutes.
So the person's own threshold for pain would obviously determine.
I would have been out in 5 seconds.
How long?
And I'm done. Take them off, I confess.
Yeah. So death didn't occur from this then, obviously. Right.
Maimed.
Permanent nerve, ligament, and tendon damage was almost always likely to occur to the victim. There was also water torture, or we would call it now waterboarding. They did this to make the person feel as if they were drowning.
Right.
To elicit a
until they actually drowned them by accident.
Well, everywhere they did it, if they did it over in Spain, it was done slightly different. If they did it here, it was done slightly different. They did it in Mexico, it was done it was whatever you had around is what you were going to use to do it. But the accused heretic would lay on his or her back and be strapped to a board. They would secure the ankles, wrists, arms, and legs to prevent the accused from thrashing about. And once they were secured, a rag or some type of cloth would be inserted into the mouth.
Oh.
And then the officials of the tribunal would then pour water over the rag, mimicking the sensation of drowning. This technique, the other one was kind of short, 60 minutes. This would be repeated for days until they confessed. Breathing would become increasingly difficult because, they're drowning. At first, the accused would be given enough time to catch their breath.
Oh, so they were killing them.
Yeah. If no confession came, the length in between the water got shorter and shorter and shorter. Death was a very distinct possibility.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a given.
There was reports from people that were at these waterboardings, and they described how awful it was to watch these people, literally their lungs fill with water in front of them and suffocate. And just hearing that you're going to get water torture for this. They called it toca. People would just start to confess or surrender. And
whatever you want me to say. What do you want me to say? I'll write it down.
And Spanish officials willingly and repeatedly used eyewitness accounts of Toka to prevent the spread of heretics. Like they would talk about it all the time. Like, oh, this happened to this person, this happened. So people would just follow the Catholic rules. That's not really how religion works.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah. And then there's the rack. The use of the rack has been forever, like way before the Spanish Inquisition. And its purpose is to stretch out a person. It stretches you out.
Growing up, my mother did not have an actual rack like that. But
I would hope not.
No, but she would dry her clothes and she'd be like, go get me the rack. So there'd always be my brother, I got the rack, Mom. We got the rack. And it just makes me laugh because every time I'd be like, oh, she's going to torture the poor clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ring them out.
Go get the rack.
So to stretch this person out, they would be secured to a board at the wrists and ankles with a type of cuff or a chain. Then the chains attached to the cuff or the chains would be attached to a wheel, and a crank would turn the wheel. As the chains would tighten, the body would stretch, and joints, ligaments, and tendons would snap, crack, and pop.
To the joints and ligament thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really torturous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Sounds that were produced by a body stretching out. Maybe one reason this torture method had such a long life in history. Those accused of heresy were often required to witness torture. When the tendons and ligaments of a person on the rack began making noise, bystanders just, again, started confessing, like, please don't do that to me. Whatever you want me to say, I'm a heretic. And for the accused that were stretched out too much, their muscles would lose the ability to contract. So once they came off of that, they could never walk again. They could never use their arms again. Because if you don't have elasticity, you cannot move you can't move. So even if they lived, they were maimed forever. They would also lose control of their bowels and stuff because you're stretching your whole abdomen, pelvis, everything. Sometimes when you had someone on the rack,
it's getting even better.
They added more torture. And
because the rack wasn't enough.
Because it wasn't enough. So sometimes they'd put you on a bed of nails.
Oh, so
and
they're scraping you along the nails. Yeah.
So
you're going to die of some disgusting infection to boot with
They would just be piercing your skin as they were stretching out your entire body.
God.
Yep. And in the New World, sometimes the rack would take the form similar to that of the strappado, where a person would be stretched while hanging by their wrists from a tall tree or pole. As the person hung from their wrists, their ankles would be stretched to the ground.
I think if you watch Braveheart, they do that to him at one point.
Braveheart's gross.
He's just before they got him.
Yeah.
I think they stretch him. They not on a rack, but they lift him. And
I do think
they stretch him out.
And the snap, crackle, and pop of the joints and ligaments was deafening, and the pain was indescribable.
Yeah, I would imagine.
One person who actually survived the rack said he required longer pants because he had been stretched too long.
I would assume he would have had to dictate his story because he couldn't write with his arms and like his hands.
Well, I'm wondering if he got on it and he immediately confessed. You know what I mean? They only stretched him a little.
Just enough to give him longer pants.
Just to be like, you know what? I'm going to confess now.
I'm a 34 length now. Thank you very much. I needed that extra inch.
Then there's the wheel.
Oh, I can't. Is it like a hamster wheel?
Well, the Catherine wheel, or sometimes called the breaking wheel, was a form of capital punishment adapted from the sweet rack. They like to keep everybody on their toes, not knowing what's coming. So they'd like to surprise them with new forms of torture. The more forms of torture they had, they thought the better it was, the more people would less likely be heretics. Who do you think
is getting paid to come up with these?
Sick,
who's the guy that's
some serial killer that didn't know that they were a serial killer at that time. So the convict would be bludgeoned to death.
Oh.
He'd be repeatedly hit with clubs, thick tree branches, or other implements
attached to
break
wheel?
their bones. The mangled body of the convict would be placed on display until death. The dying convict would be kept alive as long as possible to drag out the painful process of awaiting death from broken bones.
Oh my God.
So the wheel, it was generally a wheel wagon was used, and the accused or convict would be stretched over the wheel.
Oh.
They would then be beaten.
Oh.
The spaces between the spokes would allow bones to break upon contact with a club or other device. If the device was used as torture, the accused would be removed from the wheel before death. So they didn't
it's
let, if
capital
it was
punishment,
just
they're killing you on
capital
it.
punishment, they're murdering you on it. If they're just torturing you, they'll take you off the wheel before you die.
I guess they forgot the whole forgiveness thing in the Bible, or
Also, like I think you're supposed to like find God. No,
yeah,
like
not
want
beat
to
it into
follow.
people, stretching into them.
Yeah, they would use clubs, thick tree branches, or other things that they used to break bones, to break these people's bones. And then the mangled body would be on display until they died.
Oh, lovely.
Uh-huh.
Walking
And they
down
would,
the street and there's some like, mangled up.
oh, can you imagine all the
with your kids, with your kids
stretched
on a
out,
picnic
broken,
outing.
everything. So we put on display, and then the dying convict sometimes would be kept alive as long as possible to drag out the torture.
Wow.
Yeah, they thought this was gonna putting it on display would deter others from committing heinous crimes or being a heretic.
I mean, not to go back to Braveheart, but William Wallace was sent to the corners of England and his body parts to stay
all
out.
over them. And then there's a torture chamber. Torture chambers were windowless rooms that held the modes of torture.
I would think.
Mm-hmm. They
Good
existed in
strappado.
places where society was settled. They only had these in high society places.
You were in rural, you just got the stocks.
Yeah. So the tribunal would have these in like larger population areas where they were required to hear the charge of heresy from like a group of people. Like here's 100 people that were saying are heretics. And since members of the tribunal had to witness the torture so that they could hear a confession, because they themselves had to hear the confession, these chamber rooms made sense because you could put them all in one room. So in the New World, the torture happened in public spaces instead of a dark, windowless room beneath a prison.
Oh, lovely.
This was to attempt for the tribunal members to try to get everybody to see, like, we're going to torture you. If you don't go along with this, we're going to torture you. That was like really...
I wonder if that method worked.
I don't think so.
Because I think, too, people, when they were a believer of whatever they believed in back then, they believed it. Like,
right. And you could say...
beat it out of them,
sure,
nothing. Like, they believed it.
So the agonizing screams of the tortured and the sounds of their bodies snapping and breaking and popping their thought was it would keep the community free of heretics.
Oh, God forbid those heretics get in.
Yep. And that was the lovely Ferdinand and Isabel.
Oh, they was something.
They were lovely.
Though they did help discover America, didn't they? Isn't she the one that gave the ships to Columbus?
Yeah, but I mean...
I know. I'm trying to find the silver lining in this.
Really?
Laura. I'm turning over a new leaf
in that?
for Lent.
Oh, good.
Yeah, trying to give up gossiping. That's not worked. I'm trying to give up swearing. It's reduced, but I have not given it up. I mean, I've already sworn on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is, Laura, I'm trying. Okay. So, I mean, those are my ways of mortification.
Oh.
What is mortification, you might ask me? Well, let me tell you, Laura, what mortification is. In the Catholic Church, doesn't mean you're totally embarrassed.
No.
It is the spiritual practice of self-denial and discipline. I am denying myself gossip. And you know how I love. You got nothing nice to say, come sit next to me. And it's aimed at overcoming sinful tendencies and cultivating virtue to get closer to God. You could use the wheel. You could use the strappado.
Yeah.
Or we could do flagellation.
Oh, lovely.
Which always sounds like a really dirty word to me.
Yes, it does.
All right. But we're not talking about that kind of flagellation because that's just an outright sin and makes you go blind.
That's not a torture.
That just makes you go blind. We are talking about something that in antiquity and among prehistoric cultures, ceremonial whippings were performed in rites of initiation, purification, and fertility. You know, Laura, if you can't get pregnant, whip her.
Yeah.
She'll get pregnant immediately. Yeah. Which often included other forms of physical suffering. Floggings and mutilation, again, I go into very weird places, were sometimes self-inflicted. Beatings inflicted by masked impersonators of gods or ancestors figured into many Native American initiations. In the ancient Mediterranean, ritual floggings were practiced by the Spartans and Roman heretics. And Roman heretics were whipped with thongs of oxtail, leather, or parchment strips, some being weighted with lead. As we know, I believe Jesus was scourged, so the ends of the whip had like hooks on them to make sure he was flayed open. Yeah. Lovely.
Very.
Catholics have such a rich history.
Yes.
So in early Christian church, self-flagellation was apparently imposed as punishment and as a mean of penance for disobedient clergy and laity. Now we're going to go into, shortly, we're going to be going into Bring Out Your Dead, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, because there is a scene where the priests are walking around flogging
hitting themselves.
while they sing. It was lovely. So when the plague ravaged Italy in 1259, I can't even wrap my head around that date.
I know, it's crazy.
In 1259, Ranio Fossani, also known as the Hermit of Umbria, not Umbro Shorts, but Umbria,
Mm-hmm.
organized processions of self-scourging flagellants who practiced the ritual. So people are walking around just beating themselves. Adopted first in central and northern Italy, the movement developed into flagellant brotherhoods comprising lay persons as well as clergy and spread from Italy into Germany and the Low Countries in the mid-13th century.
Wow.
In the mid-14th century, I mean, we're getting up there.
Yeah. This has been a long time.
Flagellants, fearful of the Black Death, sought by their own efforts to mitigate the divine judgment that they felt to be at hand. So they figured if they walked around and beat themselves to death, the Black Death would not show up.
Yeah.
As we know, as long as there were rats and mice, that didn't matter.
Yeah.
In 1349, Pope Clement VI condemned flagellation, as did the Council of Constance, 1414 through 1418. But German flagellants were very organized.
Most German stuff is very organized.
Well, you know who targeted them? The Inquisition. The practice gradually subsided because, they were torturing the shit out of them. But in the 16th century, the Jesuits thought this was something. Let's bring it back.
Okay.
We're bringing flogging back. Yeah. And they revived lay interest in self-inflicted flagellation, especially in Southern Europe. In Northern America, the Order of Hopi Indians, which I believe was out like Arizona area, engaged in flagellation until the late 19th century.
Jesus.
Could you imagine going out there and they're just like, woof, woof, just beating the shit out of themselves? Flagellation is currently practiced by some Shiite Muslims who whip themselves on the holiday of Ashura to commemorate the martyrdom of Hussein at the Battle of Karbala.
Wow.
680 CE. I don't know what CE is, but I think it's a Muslim thing. All right. So if you didn't want to whip yourself, or maybe ahead of time you gave yourself a good whipping, you wash it off a little bit, you got to put something on.
Oh, yeah.
You feel you're not penitent enough, we're going to give you a hair shirt.
Now,
the first time I heard of hair shirts, one of my favorite authors is Philippa Gregory. And she wrote a book for each one of Henry VIII's wives, as you know, when we've read them. When they write of Catherine of Aragon, she's always wearing a hair shirt. And
I don't remember that.
I don't know if it's her book or if it's the other Boleyn girl. One of the younger girls are thinking like maybe if she stopped wearing a hair shirt, he would want to have sex with her because her skin was chewed the shit up from this hair shirt. That's the first time.
Well, she was very Catholic.
She was the Infante. Yeah. Right. She was very Catholic. Okay. So hair shirts are garments made from rough animal hair, usually that of goats.
Oh my God. I would die of an allergy attack.
I don't want their meat, and I sure as hell don't want their hair.
I would be dead literally the second I put it on.
So your skin would be beautiful, but you would have already died.
Yeah.
They were worn as a top or under a shirt and against the skin, so the coarse hair will rub and scratch the wearer. This discomfort serves as both an act of penitence and a constant reminder of faith. So as to, I'd be praying, I'll be scratching 24/7. So it's better to avoid the temptation to sin. I can do it without a hair shirt. Some hair shirts even included bits of spiked metal meant to inflict pain and injury on the wearer.
Oh my God.
Lovely. These modified hair shirts were typically used only by the most penitent believers.
She probably had a medal in hers.
She probably did. Yeah. Only the penitent may pass, Mike. As we would say in The Last Crusade. That's how he knows to bend and not get the slice to the neck, because only the penitent can pass. The earliest hair shirts were probably the sackcloths mentioned in the Old Testament. I want a good sackcloth.
I don't.
They were rough garments worn by those in mourning. As if it's not bad enough you just lost somebody you love, and now you're going to scourge yourself. They would have made the wearer only uncomfortable, though since self-injury through cutting is forbidden by Jewish law, so you couldn't actually put metal and stuff in a hair shirt because they don't believe in self-mutilation. I think I like that religion.
Yeah.
Throughout centuries, hair shirts have been used by ascetics, clergy, monks, nuns, friars, and devout lay people alike.
Yeah.
Thomas Becket was wearing one when he was assassinated. I didn't mean to look up Thomas Becket because I don't remember who he is. I am sure he's some English clergyman during the split, but I can't remember. And Thomas More, who is an English clergyman during the split, wore one while he was imprisoned in the Tower of London. God. And Charlemagne was buried in one.
Oh.
God, for eternity, you're wearing a hair shirt.
Well, he was really sorry.
Did that to him.
He was really...
St. Thomas of Canterbury.
Is who Thomas Becket is?
Yes, former Lord High Chancellor of Great Britain in 1118.
He was
when he was born.
former High Lord Chancellor of Great Britain.
In 1118.
In 1118.
That's when he was born. He died in 1170.
Well, he lived a long time.
For those days?
Yeah.
He was ancient. All right. While hair shirts are often associated with the Middle Ages, they are still used today by members of varying Christian denominations throughout the year.
Where?
During Lent, Laura, hair shirts are sometimes used as altar cloths. And small pieces of sackcloth might be given out to parishioners as a reminder that Lent is a season of repentance and piety. Hair shirts have even made their way into the fictional land of Westeros, which, if you have not seen Game of Thrones, that is the land of Game of Thrones. So apparently members of various fictional faiths wear hair shirts in Game of Thrones. I am all set with a hair shirt.
Hair shirt? Just the name of it sounds
Thank
terrible.
you. So
I'd rather the flagellation.
If you self-flagellation. So if you have not been into self-flagellating and you don't want to wear a hair shirt, you can also crucify yourself. Yeah.
That seems like it would be hard to do.
Well, let me explain. Well, you don't do it to yourself, but you choose to get crucified 33 times in your life. We all know why 33,
yes.
right? Yeah. Okay.
But okay.
We'll get into it. Okay. All right. So Ruben Anaje is a Filipino villager who started in 1985 to volunteer to be crucified in the Philippines. We'll get into what it actually is. He fell from a 3-story building in 1985, and when he started doing this crucifixion, his loved ones, people were being healed from serious illnesses, so he kept doing it.
Because he thought, I'm saving them by doing this.
And it turned him into a village celebrity as Christ in the Lenten reenactment of the Way of the Cross.
They have a whole reenactment of crucifying someone. Okay.
Villagers, actors dressed as Roman centurions, hammer 10-centimeter or 4-inch stainless steel nails through his palms and feet, and set him aloft on a cross under the sun for 10 minutes.
They actually nail his feet and his hands.
Okay, so he is 58. He has portrayed Jesus Christ's crucifixion and death on Good Friday in front of crowds and locals and tourists in the village of North Manila since 1985.
Jesus.
During these realistic crucifixions, the actors, dressed as Roman centurions, drive 4-inch nails into both his hands and feet and lift him on a wooden cross for about 5 minutes. He is Catholic, and he continues the tradition to remind the world about the plight of Jesus Christ. He added that he has decided to stop participating in this after next year, but they're looking for a new guy.
Did they do it before him? Or did he start this whole thing?
It doesn't, I think it says, yes, the tradition goes back to the 1950s. We'll get into that next. He has been crucified 33 times, and he's stopping at 33 because that is the age of Christ when he died. So 3 and 33 are a big number in the Catholic faith. Okay. What he says is, what I am looking for in my successor is that he serves good. He serves as a good role model in his community and a person with good manners and values. You don't want him up there being like, motherfucking son of a, as he's getting nails in. That would defeat the purpose. Yeah. Not someone who would boast about the role or be too proud. I've been crucified 33 times. You don't want a guy saying
no.
Okay. No. So the tradition has its origins in a play about Jesus written by a local playwright in the 1950s, which led to the first crucifixion in 1962.
Oh, my God.
I've seen many plays. I've never decided to reenact them. It has since grown into one of the most visually striking festivals in this part of the world, and it attracts thousands of onlookers and tourists to watch the gory displays in the fervent Catholic nation.
Do they jab them?
No, I don't think they try to see, and they're not feeding them any painkillers either. The crucifixion takes place predominantly in the province of Pampanga. Catholic leaders in the Philippines, however, condemn the practice. They don't want you doing this.
No.
And they are discouraged by public health officials. I'm glad the public health officials are discouraged.
I can't even believe they let them do it.
They let them do it. And usually there is first aid on hand, in case you were curious.
He is crucified.
Right. I mean, in case you collapse from dehydration or heat. Devotees say the wounds can take up to 2 weeks to heal, but are a small price to pay to be able to express their faith through extreme acts. And then, in addition to the Good Friday crucifixions, I believe there's like 3 of them get crucified, I believe.
Well, because you have to have the...
I'm telling you, it will be on the news on Friday, Good Friday. Watch the news. You will see They will show you who did it.
Oh my God.
Others drag heavy crosses or crawl on bloodied hands and knees in cities and towns across the country. And others dress as Roman soldiers to help in the crucifixion.
Thorns?
They might. You will see it. I'm telling you. I've seen it on the news. That's where I got the idea. 2 men and a woman were later crucified to wooden crosses after Nagi's act. A total of 9 people at 3 separate sites took part in crucifixions.
God.
That's according to CNN.
Wow.
Yes. So if you watch on Good Friday, you will see they will cover the Philippines and they will cover somebody who decided to get crucified. And they do it every year. And then you will see, I think in Rome, maybe it's Jerusalem, they reenact. They'll take the cross, they reenact, they bring it.
That I get.
Yeah.
That I can get behind that. Crucifying somebody
with actual nails.
Yes.
Like, put me in a rope.
And like the play could have had real nails. Like,
right. Like maybe you could hang somebody a couple of ropes up there for 5 minutes, but do you have to actually nail him
them
to the cross? And you did it 33. His hands must be like
he must not really use
hamburgers.
Them, unless they go like directly through every time.
It's disgusting. Is he wearing a crown of thorns?
Yeah.
Well, Mike's got the picture. He is wearing a crown of thorns. Oh my God. He's even got the loincloth. Eesh. God damn. No. So I didn't go that extreme. I went with gossip and profanity.
Nice.
And I gave up social media. I'm not gonna lie, it's brutal.
Oh, see, I don't miss that at all. I'm not gonna go back.
I miss just like when I'm bored to pick up the phone and just start scrolling. I'm bored. But I'm just doing other things instead, and I'm going to try to continue that.
I figured I'll put up pictures of him like when he graduates in the prom, just so like other people who don't live it can see it, but then that's it.
Well, what happens, Laura? What happens? One of my cousins passes away. Not a very close cousin, but a cousin passes away. Do you think my mother called to tell me? No. I actually asked her when she passes away, could the funeral home give me a call? Because she never tells me. Yeah. She'll call me to let me know what she watched on TV. Mm-hmm. But people die. Oh, I forgot. My aunt, who's demented, can't remember what she has for breakfast. That's who tells me what's going on. Yeah. So I went to see her yesterday. She's like, did you hear so-and-so died? I'm like, no. Oh, your mother didn't tell you? And no, she didn't actually. And I call her. Oh, I just wanted to confirm it. I'm like, give me a break.
You could have called and said, I heard this, but I'm going to confirm.
Do you know who she did call? She called my other cousin. Told her about it.
Shocking.
You think she told me about it? No. Nope. What are you getting so upset about? Because you never, you didn't tell me anything. Like, what the, if I borrowed $5, you'd call me every day till I paid it back, but you can't tell me somebody died.
No, not as important.
I love her. I love her, but God, is she one quirky woman.
Yeah.
So, this Lenten season, you do not need to self-flagellate, scourge, hair shirts, and you don't want to get involved with the Spanish Inquisition. They were not nice people.
No, you know what? Don't make anybody do anything that they don't want to do.
They don't
That's just a good general rule.
If you're a heretic, just let them go on their way.
Let them be a heretic.
Let them be a heretic. Yeah. They can do their own thing.
Yeah, you don't have to torture them.
Everybody needs a good heretic once in a while. Yeah. Makes you think your own beliefs a little different. Right. So on that note, go get your Cadbury creamed eggs and mini Cadbury eggs. And my son likes the chocolate carrots that are on like a little stick. You ever see those? It's like a little green hook. No. And they're wrapped. I actually have gotten them on Amazon and sent them to him last Easter.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
They're little chocolate carrots. Speaking of which, my son turned 21 yesterday.
I was going to say that. Happy birthday.
I couldn't wish him a happy birthday. I emailed him a happy birthday.
That's nice.
He can't drink because he's underwater. So I drank for him last night.
Nice.
I celebrated in honor of him.
Good job.
Yay. Happy birthday, Cameron.
Happy
Sorry
birthday.
You missed it. But you'll pop up eventually somewhere. And you can
have a drink.
Yeah. And then when you come home, we can go to a bar together. It'll be great.
Oh, so weird.
I'm sure Vienna's going to be like, will you buy for me? Can you buy for me?
You're going to buy.
You're going to buy something. All right. So happy Easter. Happy Passover. Any other religious celebrations. Enjoy. Mm-hmm. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsandscrubs@gmail.com.